Grade 5 students, welcome back to our science class. It's me again, your teacher for science, Teacher N, and we are now in unit number 2, lesson number 4. And we will be talking about the flowering plant life cycle. Again, flowering plant life cycle. But before going there, let's review first our last topic. Last time we talked about the methods of propagation. Again, we've learned some of the methods of propagation. We have seedling, we have cutting, we have layering, we have also budding, grafting, and and we also learn about the technology of propagation. We've learned also about the tissue culture, right? So we've learned also about genetic modification, or the GM, and also the cloning. So now let's talk about cycle. What do you mean by cycle? When you say cycle, what do you mean about that? When we say cycle, it's a series of events that are repeated over and over again in the same order. Okay? Again, cycle is like a repeated events, okay, that repeated over and over again. Okay, like for example, so there is a life cycle of a butterfly. So from egg, so until it will grow into butterfly. Also, we have that in the flowering plants. So flowering plants have a life cycle too. So when we say again life cycle, it's a series of events that take place which are then repeated. Again, when we say repeated, it's an event that keep on repeating over and over again. Okay. So the life cycle of a flowering plant. Again, let's talk about the life cycle of a flowering plant. Okay, in flowering plants, so we have step 1. So everything starts with the seed germination. Okay, look at this one. Okay, that is seed germination. So the seed will germinate, okay, so that it will form to another plants, new plant. We have step number 2. We have sprout. Sprout grows up as a plant with roots, stem, and leaves. Remember, plants start with the roots, and then after that we have the stem and followed by the leaves. That is the step 2. Okay, again, it starts from the root, the stem, and the leaves. So we have step number 3. Step number 3 is that the plants will continue to grow until they produce flowers. Okay, when the plants is matured enough, so that's the time they will bear flowers. So flowers, which is the very important parts of a plant, which helps the plants to reproduce. Okay, and we have the step number 4. Step number 4 is the plant pollination. If you can still remember, we have self-pollination, meaning the plants will just pollinate itself. Or we have also the cross-pollination, so the pollen grain will transfer from another plants through insects. It can be man also, or it can be wind, water. So that is the pollination of a flower. Alright, so we have step number 5. When you say step number 5, it's the production of a plant. Again, it's the production of a plant. Step number 4 is the pollination of a plant. So this time is the production of the plants, which is step number 5. Okay, when the pollen grain will enter to the ovule of a plant, so it starts to form a seed. So we have the step number 6. So this is the last step of the life cycle of a flowering plant. So this time the spread of seeds by wind, water, animals, or even human. Okay, so this is the last life cycle of a plant. So by the time when the plants will bear the seeds, so that's the time that they will again reproduce in new plants. So that is step number 6, or this is the last step. All right. So when the flowering plants grow enough, they reproduce flowers and products which have seeds. Alright, so that's it. That's the 6 steps of the plant cycle of a flowering plant. Okay class, remember this one. When the plants grow, it blooms. When you say blooms, it meaning it has a flower. It's beautiful. Next is when the pollen grain reaches the ovule, which is found in the ovary of a flowering plants. So that's the time the plants will reproduce. Then, after that, the petals will gradually drop. Then, that's the time the ovule, when the petals will gradually drop. So that's the time when the ovule develops into a fruit, or of course inside the fruit is the seeds. So now let's have the life cycle of a tomato plant. Let's see if let's study or let's learn about the life cycle of a tomato plant. All right. So we have fruit and seed. Spread the seeds. Seed germination. We have the sprout growing up as a plant with roots, stems, and leaves. And we have the plant growing up enough for flowering. And we have the last one, pollination. So we will be arranging these steps, okay, of the life cycle of a tomato plant. Okay, let's start with, okay, what is this step? Okay, yes, yes. If your answer is spread of seeds, then you are correct. So, spread of seeds. The next steps would be, okay, what do you call that one? Okay, it's a seed germination. Seed germination. The seed will start to grow. Again, seed germination. We have the next step. So what do you call that one? Alright, if your answer is the sprout is starting growing up, so it starts with the roots, the stems, and after that the leaves. So what is the next step? We have, okay, the plant growing up enough for flowering. Okay, so that's the time the plants will grow matured. So we have the next one. It's, alright, it's pollination. Okay, so we have self-pollination, or we have the cross-pollination. Okay, from here, example is we have the bees. Okay, they help the flowering plant to pollinate. And we have the last one, which is the, okay, the flower will become fruit and seed. Okay, that's the time again we are going to spread the seeds again in the soil. See, when we say life cycle, okay, it's a repeated event. So again, we spread the seeds, we germinate, the plants will sprout, and then let's wait that the plants will grow matured enough for flowers, and then again the flowers will pollinate, then it will form a fruit and seeds, and after that the seeds again we will spread or we will plant it again in the soil. So again, when we say cycle, it's a repeated event. Okay, and so this is your worksheet for today. So I want you to have this one so you can answer it in your notebook. Okay, so the first part is you have to fill in the blanks with the following phrase, okay, to show the sequence of the life cycle of a bean. So this time it's a bean, okay, again the life cycle of a bean. So I want you to write, okay, here in the blank. So we have 1, the first step, number 2, second step, 3, 4, 5, and we have the 6th step. So I want you to write the correct sequence, okay, of a bean plant. So that is part 1. So we have the choices here. We have spreading of seeds, germination, sprout grows up with roots, stems, and leaves, pollination, plant produce flower, then fruit and seeds. So all you have to do is you have to arrange that in sequence. When you say sequence, it's from the beginning up to the end. Okay, so we have the part 2. So all you have to do is you have to fill in the space provided here. So we have 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11. So we have the choices. We have life cycle, we have stem, we have germination, we have seeds, and we have flowers. So this is the paragraph that I want you to fill in the blanks, okay? So the plant life cycle start with the, okay, what is the start again? Okay, of the seeds which grow into a plant that has roots, blank, and leaves. So this is the 3 parts of a plant that will grow. So this grows until it has, okay, and produce using pollen. Okay, which part of flowering plants contain the pollen grain? So that is number 9. So which is male germ cell and an ovule, which is a female germ cell of a plant, until it produces what? Until it produces, which develops into a new plant as the blank of a plant. Number 11 is, this is what you call the events of life of a plants that keep on repeating. So what do you call that one? Okay, it's 2 words. Okay, it's 2 words. And so that's the end of our class for today, and after you answer your worksheet, I want you to send it via line, or you can send it in my personal line. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.